Coming up, what Iowa lawmakers have at the top of their list this legislative session and why it matters to Iowa homeowners.
And Eastern Iowans push back against ICE. We have how immigrant advocacy group Escucha Mi Voz is letting Iowans know about their rights and what to do when they see federal law enforcement.
Action-packed from the field and the court, a look at the hottest Hawkeye sports from break.
Winter is playing games with us. I'll have your full forecast in weather.
All that and more
coming to you right now on DITV.
Good morning from Iowa City and welcome back from winter break. Today is Monday, January 19th. I'm Kabedi Mutamba.
And I'm Colin Crothers. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day, everyone.
And the third member of our team, Julia Rhodes, is live in studio with us to give us today's forecast. Julia, we had a lot of time off during winter break. How are things looking now that we're back on campus?
Yeah, guys, I can say Iowa winter is nothing like New York City winter, but it's great to be back and I definitely missed everyone. Taking a look at the weather for the day ahead, today expect temps in the low teens, and tonight those temps will keep dropping down into single-digit numbers as snow will make its way here. So make sure to bundle up, and looking towards tomorrow, the sun will be playing peekaboo behind those clouds as temps will be in the low 20s. Personally, spending my winter break in the Big Apple is a core memory that I will not forget. Seeing all the lights and stores to shop in I will definitely be taking a trip back to New York City. But for now, Kabedi and Colin, back to you.
And Iowa lawmakers are back at the Capitol for the second week of the 2026 Iowa legislative session.
From property taxes to education and eminent domain, both parties have laid out their own priorities along with hundreds of bills.
DITV's Liz Schultz has been tracking the early action in Des Moines and joins us live in the newsroom to break down lawmakers' goals.
Liz, what are you hearing from lawmakers?
Well, Colin and Kabedi, the Daily Iowan spoke with several lawmakers beginning the legislative session, and they're all agreeing on one thing: affordability for Iowans.
Making sure that it's something that's easy to understand. Part of the reason we've struggled with property tax conversations in the past is they've been extremely complicated.
The Senate Democrats this year are really laser focused on affordability, and it's what we heard the most frequently from everybody.
Democrats shared their agendas, including a new working families and affordability plan
to make life more affordable for the working person in the state of Iowa.
They also pushed raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour.
With responsible steps along the way, $10 in 2026, $12.50 in 2027, and $15 the following year.
But Republicans, on the other hand, are shifting their focus on lowering property taxes.
My proposal freezes property tax bills for Iowans aged 65 and up because no one should be taxed out of their own front door.
Passions already rose day two as dozens lobbied for a bill that could block eminent domain in the state.
I will continue to support ethanol, I will continue to support corn growers, and I will continue to support agriculture, but they do not trump the constitutional rights of the good men and women sitting in this room.
But companies like Summit Carbon Solutions are still not on board.
This bill strips the property rights of over 1,400 Iowa farmers who have signed up for this project.
The bill would prevent companies like theirs from running pipelines or utilities across a landowner's property. The bill passed in the House committee last week and could reach a full House vote this week. While the bill moved forward Tuesday, Governor Reynolds had all eyes on her as she walked across the Capitol on her way to deliver the 2026 Condition of the State address. She was greeted by boos and cheers. Dozens surrounded the rotunda, demanding ICE and Reynolds out of Iowa. But that didn't stop her from addressing the crowd.
The condition of our state is strong. And with the work we do here together, its future will be even stronger.
But many Democrats weren't impressed.
I'm concerned about what we didn't hear. We didn't hear about a record state budget deficit.
Republicans disagree, saying the governor's speech lays out the correct priorities.
Her point she meant tonight about not squeezing a balloon, right? I mean, so having an ability to not limit or put a hard cap on that growth, I see value in that.
And this week, lawmakers are working on advancing proposed legislation. One bipartisan bill would reopen Iowa City's State Historical Society research building after closing last year. Iowa lawmakers, including Adam Zabner and David Jacoby of Johnson County, say public access to archives should be protected. Lawmakers are also debating on legislation that would allow Iowa community colleges to offer bachelor's degrees. Community college leaders say this is key in high-demand fields like healthcare and education. Community colleges for Iowa and 3 other community college leaders presented to lawmakers last week. They are asking for $20 million to fund the grant. Another proposed bill could change how new leaders at public universities are elected and would add general education requirements like American civics classes to the University of Iowa. It would also reduce faculty decisions by shifting more academic control to lawmakers and the Board of Regents. Now, lawmakers will meet today, which begins the second week of the legislative session, and they'll continue to meet for around 90 more days, reaching around 100 in April. But for now, lawmakers are focused on advancing proposed legislation that could make its way to the House and Senate floors for a vote. And the Daily Iowan will continue to provide the latest updates as the legislative session continues on. Colin?
Thank you, Liz. The University of Iowa is considering cutting some majors. The university says they are conducting reviews to make sure that its majors align with, quote, student demand, workforce needs, and the university's educational mission. After this review, university officials will recommend for the closure of majors that they find lack student demand and long-term success. This comes after the Board of Regents identified undergraduate majors with fewer than 25 students at each of the 3 state universities and asked for reviews into said programs. Any program closure will require approval from the Board of Regents.
And a local cafe right in the heart of downtown will be closing its doors at the end of the month. Cortado is a cafe known for its European-influenced coffee and Mediterranean-style sandwiches. The owners announced the shop will be closing down after 10 years via a social media post on January 6th. On the post, they thanked the city for allowing them to create long-lasting memories, even with a bittersweet ending. Cortado will close its doors for the final time on January 30th.
Iowa City is asking citizens to help ensure curbside materials are collected efficiently. The city is asking residents to follow these steps. Avoid placing trash bins in the snowbanks or streets. Make sure all trash is out by 7 a.m. and keep 3 feet distance between each trash bin. Remember to shut the lid all the way and do not overfill the bin. And lastly, be sure that all waste besides recycling is bagged to avoid litter in your neighborhood. This will help make sure that waste is collected safely and smoothly.
And this Saturday, hundreds of people in the eastern Iowa community went out into the wintry weather to attend Escucha Mi Voz's community defense training at Dream City. Here's how this immigrant advocacy group thinks Iowa City should prepare for ICE. Making their way in from the freezing cold, Eastern Iowa community members packed themselves into Dream City's auditorium to learn what to do when they see ICE. But first, they were greeted by Jose Ugarte Cruz and Jorge Gonzalez Ochoa, who were released earlier this January from federal custody. Gonzalez Ochoa, after almost 4 months in ICE custody, joined the event via Zoom as he is under house arrest. Ugarte Cruz, after over a year of being in ICE custody, was there in person to share his relief.
I'm really happy to be here, and I feel free because, to be honest, I was incarcerated for a really long time.
And after both men shared words of gratitude and encouragement, attendees whipped out their pens and pencils to document what they were learning about their legal rights when encountering ICE. But then came a startling surprise. And this room, packed wall to wall, descended into what you could call planned chaos. Part of the training was a simulation of an ICE arrest that at first left many in the audience frustrated, tense, and confused. But after a second try, the room jumped into action.
It's a reaction that lead organizer Alejandra Escobar says meets the moment.
That it's like collective power, and this is exactly what we need. It's important for people to know that you need to be mindful of what's going on and what not to do. And you're right.
And while ice activity in Iowa doesn't look exactly the same as in Minnesota or California, many people at this event said they feel more prepared to react to ice arrests or raid should they need to. At Dream City in Iowa City, Kabiri Mutamba, DITV.
And coming up later, a recap of all the Hawkeye sports action from winter break, such as Iowa football's bowl game win, an update on Iowa basketball, and a look into Iowa wrestling. All that and more right after the break.
Stories occur every day, and here at DITV, we've got you covered with up-to-date news and politics.
We are anxiously waiting for those votes for not only the national election, but here in District 1.
Community members protest and stand for science.
Keeping highlights and scores with Hawkeye Sports.
Advancing to the quarterfinals, Iowa looks to boost their overall placement and their way into the semis.
It's Iowa's second road win of the season, first since September 21st.
And of course, all the latest in entertainment.
Sit back, relax, and here's the word on the street.
I'm here at the Alan McVeigh Theater, where a unique performance.
Here at DITV, we've got a crew bringing you all the stories from across the nation and right here in your backyard.
From the Iowa State Fair.
In Nashville, Tennessee.
From downtown Iowa City. From Carver Hawkeye Arena.
And bringing all the coverage straight to you live on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. Around the University of Iowa and Iowa City community, we have the stories that matter to you here at DITV.
Welcome back to DITV on this marvelous Monday morning.
Marvelous indeed, but I cannot stress this enough. Freezing right now.
Yeah, let's send it back to Julia, who's going to let us know what to expect for the rest of the week.
I know winter may feel like it's going on forever, but hopefully the first week of classes does not feel the same. Taking a look at the week ahead, Wednesday is looking to be a little cloudy with temps in the low 30s, and a few flurries will be roaming around. Looking to Thursday, it is going to be partly cloudy skies as it gets up into the high 20s with winds going at about 15 miles per hour. Better put on those layers as Friday, as temps are going to be in the low 10s. And going into the weekend on Saturday, don't expect sunshine and rainbows as temperatures are going to be in the single digits. And Sunday, it'll warm up ever so slightly to the high 10s with partly cloudy skies. For those headed back to campus, we wish you all safe travels getting back and make sure to stay warm out there. Back to you guys at the desk.
Well, thank you, Julia. It's people like her that are doing what she's doing that let me know that I need to be so bundled up this morning.
Yeah, and I think there's more we need to know about, especially in sports, given that we weren't here over the break. Cole has some of that for us.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on. We're transitioning from fall now to winter sports season, but let's rewind quickly to the plenty of exciting action over that winter break. The Iowa football team played the Vanderbilt Commodores in the ReliaQuest Bowl and won 34-27. DITV's Colin Crillers was in Tampa to watch Mark Gronowski's final game as Iowa's quarterback, where his leadership shined throughout.
Iowa football's offense, notoriously stereotyped as one of the most struggling in the country with a massive lack of strong passing. Take this ship, for example, stagnant right now, but with a new captain, he can steer it towards success. Enter college football's winningest quarterback, Mark Gronowski. Leading his team to the middle of the field every game, Gronowski has completely changed the dynamic and national view of the Iowa offense. Averaging 28.9 points per game, Gronowski could do it all. In this ReliaQuest Bowl, he threw for 212 yards and 2 touchdowns, while also rushing for 54 yards and 1 touchdown. This rush to the end zone tied the Big Ten record for single-season rushing touchdowns for a quarterback with 16. This led to ultimately being crowned the ReliaQuest Bowl MVP, but more important to him, a final college win on his dad's birthday.
Probably played catch with him for the first time. Walking off the field in my college career, got to play a little catch with him on his birthday, which was just kind of very meaningful.
But even with his play on the field, it's his leadership that his teammates will remember. For example, bring his O-line with him to the stage to receive his MVP award.
I'd say just him being so willing and just so humble really as a person. Just the accountability that he takes each and every day, it's really great to see.
The question now is, what is next for the captain, Mark Gronowski? Well, we'll all just have to wait and find out. From Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida, Colin Crillers, DITV Sports.
Bringing our attention over to the hardwood, Coach McCollum and the Iowa Hawkeyes suffered a 3-game losing streak over the break, with losses to Minnesota, Illinois, and Purdue. This was Ben McCollum's first 3-game losing streak as a head coach since 2013, when he was at Division II's Northwest Missouri State. The Hawkeyes look to end their streak in Assembly Hall versus Indiana. And the Hawkeyes answered the bell with a confident 74-57 win at Assembly Hall versus the Indiana Hoosiers. Sturts racked up 27 points and Tavion Banks added 26 of his own to end the losing streak at 3. The Hawkeyes return to Carver Hawkeye Arena tomorrow night to take on Rutgers starting at 7:30. And on the women's side, the Hawkeyes had a very successful break going on a 5-game winning streak. Last night, Iowa continued their run of victories against the 15th-ranked Spartans. DITV's Morgan Burhans has a story on how Hannah Stulke and Ava Hayden paved the way to victory for the Hawkeyes.
The Hawkeyes welcomed number 15th ranked Michigan State to a rocking Carver crowd. After winning their last 5, Iowa was eager to break the Spartans' 9-game winning streak. And they did just that. Iowa defeated Michigan State 75-68. It was Iowa's post players in Ava Hayden and Hannah Stulke who managed to combine for 42 points and put the Hawkeyes in a position to win. Today, when the Hawkeyes were in desperation for a made basket, Stulke hit it, securing a victory.
She knew that was going in. As she was going up, she winked at me. I did. I did for sure.
Stulke ended with a near double-double at 22 points and 9 rebounds.
I'm just really pleased for her, and I thought it was really Hannah some big plays down the stretch.
But this is a common theme, as Iowa can always count on Hannah to make a winning play when they need it. Ava Hayden also continued her strong season, adding on 20 points and 6 rebounds. The Hawkeyes attribute their success to always finding a way to get it done.
This win, part of it happened way back in November when we beat Baylor, and we found a way.
Iowa hopes to continue their winning streak and find a way this Thursday against Maryland. From Carver Hawkeye Arena, Morgan Burhans, DITV Sports.
Let's head over to the mat where Iowa women's wrestling had a shocking result. Just over a week ago, the team competed in the National Duels Tournament where they beat 20th ranked William Jewell and Sacred Hearts in the first 2 rounds. And then in a stunning twist, the Hawks lost their first ever duel in program history to 3rd ranked North Central 23-21. They would go on to recover, defeating Grand Valley State for 3rd place. Yesterday was senior day as the Hawkeyes took advantage of it with a 37-7 win over Lehigh and beat Otterbein by a score of 42-1. And unlike the women's wrestling team, the Iowa men's wrestling team has not had the season they've anticipated. Over winter break, the Hawkeyes took a big loss to number 1 ranked Penn State. The loss in the Nittany Lions was their largest loss since 1966 as they fell 32-3. And one of their key wrestlers fell short in an upset. DITV's Elise Gain was at match to witness what went wrong for the Hawkeyes.
Arena, specifically on those mats over there, and this time it did not go in Iowa's favor. Angelo Ferrari came into one of the most anticipated nights of the Iowa men's wrestling season, ready to end number 1 ranked Penn State's 78-win duel streak. However, it did not go as planned. 4th ranked Rocco Welsh didn't let numbers define him, coming into the match with a win on the forefront of his mind, unfazed by his 9-0 opponent. The match was tight between the 2 top 5 wrestlers, despite not much action happening on the mat, as regulation ended tied at 1 apiece. However, the theme of minimal action was no more as the match headed into sudden death. Welsh read Ferrari like a book, dodging his several explosive takedown attempts, while Ferrari returned the favor, trying everything he could to remain undefeated.
If I'm talking to Angelo Ferrari right now, hey, we got to fake more. We got to fake more. We couldn't get to a strong control tie underhooks where we could get that. He had a couple good looks.
By the 5th period, when both wrestlers were gassed and out of breath, it was up to whoever could scramble for an escape first. Welsh slipped from Ferrari's grip in the final few seconds, securing the win and handing the number 1 ranked 184-pounder his first loss of the season.
You got to score takedowns. You got to be able to hold up. We did not show any of that tonight.
Looking to get back on track, the Hawkeyes will next head to Lincoln, Nebraska for another test where they'll face the 6th-ranked Cornhuskers. From Carver Hawkeye Arena, Elise Gann, DITV Sports.
Today is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. It is a federal holiday meant to honor an exceptional leader in the fight for civil rights in the United States.
King was known for being a proponent of nonviolent resistance against Jim Crow laws and discrimination.
And his I Have a Dream speech from the 1963 March on Washington has become one of the most famous speeches of all time.
Dr. King is honored today, the 3rd Monday of January, in honor of his birthday, which falls on January 15th.
Perfect for that right there. Always look forward to it. having a nice day off and getting everything with that. So I want to thank you for joining us here this morning.
We are here live from Iowa City every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8:30 a.m. and online anytime at dailyiowan.com.
For all of us here at DITV, welcome back, and we're excited to share news, sports, and arts with you for another semester.
Once again, thanks for watching. We'll see you again on Wednesday morning right here on DITV.